Hello guys and welcome back in a format I haven't seen you in a while. Today I'm talking all about my absolute favourite beauty products from the whole year, 2024 in a nutshell, beauty wise. I have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to crack right on. Starting off with foundations and bases. I feel like there's one really standout product for me this year that I've loved, and I feel like it's a little bit of a hit and miss product. Some people really don't like this. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin Sheer Glow tint, and for me, I love this as a highlighter. So I don't use it as a foundation, although it does have some coverage. I use it as a stick version of the Hollywood Flawless filter. It adds glow. You can use it as a foundation if you want something really glowy, but I personally love to mix it with my favorite foundations. Love this. I wear shade 4 and I've basically been using it ever since I first got it. Absolutely love it. I think Charlotte smashed it with that one. Another product that's similar to that actually I wear alongside that a lot is the Dior foundation stick. I think this was like a viral hit of the year this year. It was really, really popular and actually, in my opinion, put Dior kind of back on the beauty map for the first time in a while in terms of like individual launches. I feel like this has been an absolute smash hit for them. It's the Dior Forever Skin Perfect stick foundation and I wear the shade 2.5N. Love it. It looks like a filter. Literally, it's just like so smoothing, so blurring, quick and easy to apply. It's not too drying, which is a concern with this type of product, right? Absolutely love it. And then I have one last final base that I've loved this year, and this was an early discovery. The other two were like middle of the year to later in the year. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. This is really high coverage, but so hydrating, so dewy. As the name would suggest, serum foundation. It's very juicy for the skin in terms of it feels like it's really feeding your skin, and if you have drier skin like me, really nice, but it is full coverage. This is like my going out foundation, and it does require powder where you need it, like on your T-zone. I wear the shade 7N in this. Moving on to kind of bronzers and blushes, the Say Dew Bronze bronzer in Salt has been a favorite of mine this year. This is, I want to say like a liquid, but it's actually more like a creamy kind of balm texture, and it's in like a lip gloss packaging, which is kind of strange. Say is such a good brand for, I personally think, for the price point. I think their products really deliver. This has been my favorite discovery from them this year, but there are a few other products I do also really like from them. And then for blusher, I've got two favorites. The first one being the Rhode Piggy Blush in, or Sleepy, yeah, Pocket. I thought it was, no, one of them is called Piggy. Pocket Blush in Sleepy Girl is what this is. And I absolutely love this. I love the colour. I love the texture. Again, it's like a real kind of balmy, juicy, kind of hydrating texture, but it's not too shiny, too greasy, too oily. It's just gorgeous, balmy. I don't know what the lighting is doing right now. I just had to close the curtain in front of me because the sun decided to come out after it being pretty cloudy all day, but there we go. I might look ghoulish, but we're going to carry on. The Rhode Blush, really, really, really rate this. An absolute favourite. And I've also absolutely been loving this year the Hourglass Unreal Blush. The shade I have is Seen, but I really love the texture of this. It's a real, true liquid blush. Like, it's very, very runny, but it's really dewy, really easy to apply, easy to blend, and I love the colour as well. Really nice. And I feel like it's been a welcome kind of return to Hourglass into my makeup bag, because Hourglass is a brand that I've loved for years, but I feel like they've been a little quiet on the release front in the last little while, but really, really like that. And then for highlighter, I've absolutely been loving this, which is the Armani Luminous Silk Aqua Highlighter. The texture of this is really unusual. It's like kind of cooling. It's very, again, very, very lightweight. It really doesn't feel like much, and it doesn't have that kind of real shimmery vibe to it that a lot of highlighters do. It's very, very subtle, but very nice, and the shade I have is 2. Another absolute favourite discovery of mine this year is the Gatineau Miracle Eye Contour Cream. This is a funny product. It's like a hybrid product between an eye cream and a concealer. It comes out grey, and then the product like adapts to your skin tone. So as you kind of massage it in, the coverage becomes apparent. But it is like so brightening, so nice under your eyes. I love this. And then on days where I'm not wearing too much makeup, I'll actually just put a little bit of this under my eyes, along my nose, maybe on my chin, and I'm good to go. So good. And it lasts forever because a little bit goes a really long way. Love that. And it's been like my first kind of proper product discovery from Gatineau as well. Other makeup that I've been loving this year, I've got 2 eyeshadow palettes. They're both quite small. Well, one's a quad. But first up, the Natasha Denona Mini Bieber palette. I feel like this has been a favourite for longer than just this year, but this is just such a go-to. I love Natasha Denona's texture on her products, just excellent all round. Very, very good, and one that I reach for on the daily. And another one that I've been reaching for so often in the past few months is actually from Prada Beauty. This one is called Dimensions, I think is the colour, or it's 01. I'm not sure, but bear with me because you're going to see this purple and think like, what the hell? But let's just cover that over. They're the ones that I use. So good. Such a good like everyday palette. I have to say with the Prada Beauty palettes, they all include one like out there color. And I think for people who like to play it safe with their beauty and like everything neutral, you've just got to ignore that. Like ignore the purple, maybe use it once every kind of blue moon or whatever. But the other colors are so nice, so wearable, just absolutely spot on. Love them. And I've been reaching for that a lot. And the texture and the like blendability of them is very, very, very good. It actually surprised me when I tried it because I didn't really know what to expect from Prada Beauty, if I'm honest. Okay, moving on to lip products. I have 5 favorite lip products this year. The first up is the same as last year. This hasn't changed much. La Mer Lip Balm, the original and the best. It's so expensive, but honestly, it's the best lip balm on the market, like hands down. And then I also have this, which I think I probably discovered these in December last year, or maybe even January, the Ulla Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. And this particular one is in creme brulee. If you haven't tried this yet and you like creme brulee, you need to do it. You need to get there. It's so good. Literally has the burnt sugar taste to it. It's so good. And they've just released shimmery versions of them as well. So nice. It has a hint of a tint of a colour to it, but just really hydrating. It's more like a gloss, but like it has that balmy kind of hydration to it. Love these so much. I have one in like every single handbag. And then I have 3 lipsticks. The first one being the one that I'm wearing today, which is Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. Nothing new, like just a classic, and I still am I always go back to it, and I'm very much on that train at the moment. Next up, these were new, I think in the summer. This is the YSL Love Shine lipstick in number 44. The packaging of these is so nostalgic for me because it reminds me of their lipstick packaging. What were they called? Rouge Volupté Shine? Rouge Volupté was the original one, and then they did the shines. Anyway, they've kept this packaging, but they've made it silver. And this is the colour. I just love the texture of these. They're shiny, but they just still have a tint to them. I have really dry lips and actually dermatitis on my lips at times. So matte lipstick is difficult for me to pull off. When I do tend to go for a more full-on matte lipstick look, however, I go for these. These are from Estee Lauder, and they're their pure colour. And these are just in the most unique packaging. They look like a vintage cigarette case. Just absolutely stunning. And the colour that I go for is Out of Time. So you know by now, if you follow me a lot, you will know that I love this kind of mauvey, slightly cool-toned rose pink. Is what I tend to go for, is what flatters my skin tone the most, personally, I find. And I really, really like these. The staying power is really good as well. And they just look so chic when you take them out of your bag. Mascara-wise, there's been one mascara launch for me this year that has just absolutely smashed it out of the park. And that is the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize. This is the newest one in the very heavy glass packaging, but it is so good. I'm wearing this today. I'm wearing most of the things I talk about today, but this is so good. And then another one that I've loved from this year, I think it was this year, not last year, I think it was the beginning of this year, is the L'Oreal Panorama Mascara. So good. Absolutely love that as well. I don't have one on the go at the moment to show you, but it's the one in the like bright gold tube. And that is it. Oh, I forgot a lipstick because it was on the side because I had to bring it upstairs from wearing it at our Christmas party last weekend. This is the Bobbi Brown Claret lipstick, and I have never had so many questions on a lipstick as when I've worn this recently. If you've seen me wear a red lip in the last few months, it will be this and only this, because I used to wear red lipstick all the time. I have not worn red lipstick in so long, but this one has lured me back in, and it's not my kind of red. It has a little orange in it, if I'm honest. But it's just so nice. I absolutely love it. It's very comfortable to wear. It doesn't have the best staying power because it isn't matte. It is quite hydrating, but it is just such a good tone, and it's really easy to reapply, and just it's an easy wearing red. Really like that. Let's move on to skincare. So starting off with cleanser, my Elemis Fresh Fig cleanser. Is it fresh fig? Green fig. The smell just now reminds me of going to bed, but honestly, this stuff is an all-time favorite. I loved Elemis cleansing balms before, but the fig one is just my absolute fave, and I've kind of rediscovered it in the last few months because I kind of come and go and flit and change. It's kind of part of doing this as a job, right? Is that I'm always trying something new. But this I have just rediscovered in a major way over the past few months, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It just takes everything off, and for some strange reason, the fig one doesn't sting my eyes at all. The original one I find stings my eyes a little bit. The rose one, the original one, and the naked one I don't even notice on my eyes, literally cleanse and they feel amazing. The original stings my eyes. I don't know why. Next up on the skincare front, Estee Lauder ANR. This has been the year of rediscovery of this for me. This has been back in my routine on the daily. I use it in the morning, I use it at night. I don't use it every single day, but if my skin is in need of hydration, back on this. And this is probably one of the first skincare products I ever became aware of as a child because my grandma used to use it. I remember like dropping a bit on the back of my hand and being like, wow, it's so smooth. Ole Henriksen Strength Trainer Peptide Boost Moisturizer. I love this stuff. You can tell I've used like half a pot of this in the last few months. I find this so hydrating. I love the texture of it. It's very balmy. It's just a really, really good night cream for me, and it's one that I keep going back to. Another thing that I've rediscovered this year is actually P50 from Biologique Recherche. Yeah. I was going to say it the other way around, and I thought, no, I'm right. This is the original P50. You can get it in Liberty. It used to be very hard to get hold of in the UK, but now you can buy it in Liberty. They do a few different versions for different skin types, but I just have the bog standard P51. I think they also do a stronger one, which is like the 1970s, something like that, which I'm not sure if you can get it in the UK or if it's only in Paris. But either way, this is a chemical exfoliant product, and I've yet to find one as good. Honestly, so good. It's one of those products that you use it and then the next morning you can see a difference in your skin. It works that quick, and it leaves everything so smooth. So smooth. Love it. It's very expensive, but it lasts forever. Two more faves. One being the CeraVe Vitamin C Serum. This one is on its last legs. I think it's pretty much empty. This is, for me, has been one of the best launches of the year skincare wise. I love it. I love the texture. It's really hydrating. It's also really hard to find nice vitamin C's that aren't oily, greasy, heavy, gritty, because vitamin C is a hard product to stabilize. Like often they're not nice textures. This is such a nice texture, and it's affordable. It's on the high street in Boots. Really, really good. And I find it actually does what it promises to, which is always nice in skincare, sometimes rare. The Drunk Elephant Bora Barrier Repair Cream. This is one that I discovered right at the beginning of 2024, and I've used it fairly consistently ever since. I say fairly consistency. It's a rich kind of barrier repair cream. It's not one that you're going to be using every day, but when I have dry skin, I always go back to this, and it always helps it. It's like so hydrating and just nourishing. It's like a big fuzzy furry blanket cuddle on the sofa for your skin when it's feeling like really parched. I've still got loads more. Let's talk about some cleansers. I'm just flitting here, there, and everywhere. Garnier Micellar Water, still going strong, still my fave. The original is the one I've got on the go at the moment, but as you guys know, I've spoken about loads of the different ones over the years. I like loads of them, but the original for me is the one I'm using at the moment. The CeraVe cleansers, there are actually two of these. I tend to go in between. The Essay cleanser, which has probably been in my favourites for the last 3 years, but also I've been loving the hydrating foaming oil cleanser, which has definitely been in favorites over the last period of time, but I don't know if like that recently it has been. Love the texture of this, love this for the winter time, really, really like it. And then from the really affordable to the really crazy expensive, this is a new discovery. This is the Clé de Peau oil, and it's actually called Radiant Multi Repair Oil, and this has a really unusual texture. It sounds like a Fenty product when I call it this, but it's like a fat oil, and like it's a little bit more kind of viscous than a normal oil, and it's not as greasy as a normal oil. It just sinks into the skin. The texture of it is actually kind of hard to describe because it is kind of like, it has that dry oil element, but it's so hydrating. I honestly, again, this is another one of those products that you use one night and then the next day you will be able to see a difference in your skin. It just leaves it looking so plumped, so nice. Clé de Peau is a crazy expensive brand. This is actually the mini version of this, but I feel like this will last forever. I just put one drop on the back of my hand and it's done the entire back of my hand. You don't need much of it. So good. So if you have the opportunity to buy like a mini or a tester size of this, definitely do, because it's such an unusual product and an unusual texture. This one is quite highly fragranced, but I think this might be like a limited edition fragrance one for Christmas because it came in a duo pack. But yeah, really, really good. And I only discovered that this month as well. And then I have the Arden Retinol HPR cream. This actually didn't come out this year. I've worked with them a few times this year on this cream. And I have to say, I'm just a massive fan of it. I think it was, I can't remember when it came out. I feel like it was September 2023, maybe this came out. I have a feeling it was around then. So good. It's just a more gentle way to introduce retinols into your routine, but it's still really effective. And I love the texture of it. I love the packaging. They've just absolutely nailed it with this whole range. But the original HPR, it's called the Rapid Skin Renewing Water Cream, is so nice, and one that I come back to in my routine a lot. And then the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Island Glow Easy Tanning Drops. These have been another launch from Charlotte. I think this was like springtime she brought these out. I could be wrong on that, but these are really strong. Proceed with caution if you don't want to look like an Oompa Loompa. And a lot of tanning drops, I just put the whole pipette on, put it on my face. This really is like a couple of drops and you're good, unless you want like full on tan. Really, really effective. And they just, yeah, they leave you with a really nice colour as well. And that's it for skincare. I'm going to move on to hair. I've obviously had a bit of a, not obviously, if you don't follow me a lot, I have gone through massive phases with my hair this year. I did like a full nearly 4 months without heat styling my hair at all, but obviously at the moment I've heat styled my hair, so I kind of go back and forth. I still do like heatless styling a lot with my hair, especially if I'm not filming or I'm not going to an event or something, but I have gone back into heat styling. So I've been using different products for different things, and I actually think I've been using more hair care products than ever before, because when I have been air drying my hair, it takes a lot more product than I used to use on my hair to like heat style it like this. One of my favourite products, I'm actually on my 3rd bottle of this. I'm about to start the 3rd bottle. This is bottle number 2. This is the Orbay Heatless Styling Balm. If you are air drying your hair, this is an excellent choice, especially if you have wavy hair. If you're not, it's probably not applicable to you, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it is very, very good. And then the other product that I absolutely love for air drying my hair is the Philip Kingsley Frizz Fighting Gloss. They do a couple of different serums in the Philip Kingsley range, and they're all actually really good, but this one's my favourite. Really good just for taming the flyaways. I also absolutely love the Kerastase Cement Thermique, and I've used this regardless of whether or not I'm heat styling my hair, even though it is technically a blow dry lotion and a heat protectant. It's an excellent leave-in conditioner. It just makes your hair really manageable. It does have that added heat protection, so I do use it as well if I'm going to be immediately heat styling my hair. So good. Kerastase is a brand that I used to use years and years ago, and then I feel like I've had a bit of a rediscovery of them this year too. Another product from Orbay is the Gold Lust Dry Heat Protection Spray. This is a game changer if you don't wash your hair a huge amount, but you like to repeatedly heat style it. So if you want a heat styling product and a heat protectant that can go on your hair when it's dry and then you can reheat style it, this is amazing. This is finished and this is my 2nd bottle. I've just got a fresh 3rd bottle ready to go because it is so good. Like, I feel like the proof is in the pudding with the repurchasing of products. This one, it was one of my absolute favourite launches of the year. Another Orbay product. You can tell I'm a big fan of this brand. I love their stuff, even though they're pricey, but they're really good. The Orbay Bright Blonde Radiance and Repair Treatment. This is a purple treatment for your hair. It's a 1-minute treatment. I need to use it at the moment, actually, although I think this light is making my hair not look quite as yellow toned as it currently is, but I haven't used this in ages and I need to. So good. It just knocks the brassiness out. Really like it. It's very quick. And then lastly for hair, I've been using this again, and why did I ever leave? I love Pureology. I just love the Hydrate range. My scalp loves it. I have such a problematic scalp, and actually I had a real flare up in the last kind of 6 to 8 weeks, and this made me go back to the range. This is the shampoo, but I also have the giant conditioner as well, and it's just so good. Mike uses it as well. Beauty gadgets. I forgot to include this in skincare, so I'm going to go back because I feel like you guys have heard me talk about this a million times, but the Zip Halo. This is a gadget that has actually stayed in my routine throughout this year, which is pretty darn rare. I've spoken about this loads because I've worked with them loads this year. But genuinely, this video is not sponsored by them. Genuinely, I love this product. It's so good. It just like tightens everything up exactly where I want to tighten everything up. And if you want to hear me talk about it more, go and watch my recent vlogs because I talk about it and show you using it. But it is honestly so good and like really worth the investment. For body, I've actually only got two favorites. The first one, I've been talking about this product for probably over a decade. The L'Occitane Almond Shower Oil, the original and the best, is still in my shower. I love it. It hydrates, it cleanses, it makes an excellent shaving gel or replacement. It's just very, very good. And I also, this is not that applicable this time of year, but in the summer, this was such a great discovery for me. The Sol de Janeiro Rio Radiance SPF 50 SPF spray. Used this all summer and loved it. So, so good. And last but not least, the final category is fragrance, and I have 4. The first one I'm going to talk about, actually 2 of them, I'm like resentful to feature in this video because I don't think you can currently buy them and it really frustrates me. But Erin, as a brand, maybe Erin herself will watch this, probably not. But if you are listening, please don't discontinue this. Please bring it back. It's probably the most beautiful fragrance I've ever smelled in my life. This is Erin Ambrette de Noir. I got this in 2020 and look at this, how much I have left, and it's still a favourite. I wear it all the time. If I'm like reaching for one fragrance, it will be this. And I just love it. I come back to it time and time again. It's rich, it's warm, it's like the most comforting fragrance, but it's sexy at the same time. And I believe they've discontinued it, which upsets me greatly. They still have Amber Musk, which is a long-term favourite of mine. But this seems to have gone, and it's a criminal offence because this is just, honestly, it's such a good perfume. I'm hoping that they bring it back this year. And the other one that is limited and is so good, this is actually what I'm wearing today. This is from Marks & Spencer's. This was one of their summer limited edition fragrances that sold out very, very quickly, and it's called Sunrise. I'm hoping they bring it back this summer because this little bottle's £6. The full size is £10. The staying power is not the best. Like if I'm wearing this on a day, I'll put it in my handbag and reapply. But it smells divine. It literally is just balmy and creamy and sunny and just, it's so good. And it sold out and they didn't make it permanent. They have so many permanent fragrances in their collection and this is not amongst them. I'm like, they have to bring it as a permanent edition because it is so good. They also did Sunset, which was also very, very nice. Moving back to Erin, but one that is actually not discontinued. This is her most recent fragrance and my most kind of recent one I'm including. This is Rose Cocoa. And honestly, when you first spray this, it smells like a really intense rose fragrance, really rich, really kind of gorgeously floral. And I say gorgeously floral because I don't love floral fragrances. You know, that kind of sickly sweet lily of the valley type. I just really sickly floral fragrances I don't love. But I do like rose. And I like this when you initially spray it. But I love it when it dries down because it comes out with this gorgeous, rich cocoa, like chocolate, slightly gourmand note to it. And it's just divine. So nice. And I love the velvet bow as well. Erin fragrances are, for me, a long-term love, but they're also very hit and miss because I love her kind of warm, comforting fragrances, but she also does a lot of kind of more watery florals that I'm not a fan of. Like she does a honeysuckle fragrance and things like that, that if you do like florals, definitely check them out. She does an amazing vanilla fragrance. She does gorgeous Amber Musk, obviously Ambrette de Noir, RIP. But yeah, I love all of her warm fragrances. They're so, so nice. And lastly, Fugazi. This is Workaholic, but Fugazi as a brand in general, I think I actually discovered it last year. Maybe it was the beginning of this year, actually. But they're just so good. Workaholic is my fave. Also love Cash Flower. Orange Crush is also really nice. Angel Dust, I think it's called. So nice and definitely worth getting like the Discovery set. Is how I first bought into this brand because so many of them are really good. Absolutely love it. Like honestly, just really statement gorgeous fragrances. And I love the bottles too. They're very simple, but they have like the magnetic lid and they're just really classy. I love them. That is it for my 2024 favourites. I hope you've enjoyed this video. A little look back in review of the year of things that I've been loving, old and new. I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas, New Year period. For those of you who are taking some time off, I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you in 2025. Bye! Bye-bye. Ah! You made me jump. You're so funny.